Infinity Slayer. Eliminate the enemy team. Request confirmed. Ordnance ready. Request confirmed. Ordnance ready. Request confirmed. Lost the lead. Gain the lead. Kills to win. Wins. Game over. Victory.